Hi, Bill Jones from Turntastic Wood Designs. I made this sofa table or console table this week. As you can see, it's a very simple design. I used ash for the top and then iron pipe for the legs. I didn't happen to have a piece of ash that was long enough for this, so I actually had to join these pieces end to end, and I'll show a little of that. I'm really happy with the way it looks. I like the juxtaposition between the organic and the inorganic with the wood and the steel. It's a nice little table to go behind a sofa. If you happen to have a stuffed spider monkey riding an armadillo, this would be the perfect place to display a treasure like that. I'm not sure if that's what my daughter is going to use it for, but very similar things. If you'd like to see how I made it, then stick around and I'll show you next. One of the first things I need to do is take this rough stock and get it flat. When you're dealing with a tabletop, you really want it flat. And because of the way I'm making this table, I want to get as much width out of a single board as I can. I want to avoid seams if I can. So for that reason, I'm not going to be using my joiner to flatten the stock initially. And what I'm going to do is use the method that I've seen April Wilkinson do. I took this board that I had that I know is flat. It actually came from a treadmill. It was the base of a treadmill. And I lay my stock down on that. And I can see I got quite a bit of twist in this board as well as a cup. So what I'll do is I'll take shims, just ordinary shims you get from the hardware store, and I'll shim it up everywhere where there's a low spot. Then I'll take a hot glue gun and put those shims to where they won't move. And then I'll run both boards through the planer, and it will reference off the bottom of this flat board, and this won't wobble because I'll have it glued down. And then I'll get a nice flat surface to start with. Now my board is nice and flat, no twist. So I can now plane the other side and got something I can work with. I needed to join the boards end to end to get the length I needed. So I started by using the router to cut a half lap joint that was 3 inches wide in one end of each board. And that fit together pretty well. To strengthen and tighten that lap joint, I'm going to use some long pins. And to make those pins, I started with a piece of scrap metal I had laying around, some plate steel, and I drilled a 3/8 inch hole there in that. Then I made these little square pegs that are just over 3/8 inches square, kind of rounded one end off, and I push it down in that hole and just pound it through, and that actually will cut it round. That makes me a nice round peg. I take the pegs to the disc sander and taper one end. I drill holes through one side of the lap joint. Then I dry fit the joint together. Using the drill bit, I push it through the holes I've already drilled to make a mark on the other side of the lap joint. Now I drill holes in the second board, offset from the marks I just made about 1/16 of an inch. Making sure there's plenty of glue on all the surfaces of the joint, I put it together and then pound in the pins. Because I drilled the one set of holes offset by 1/16 of an inch, The tapered pins then pull the joint tight. I clamp the joint up and wait for the glue to dry. When the glue's dry, I trim the pins flush and give it a good sanding. I gathered up all the pipes and fittings that I was going to need to assemble the base. That black iron pipe that you get at the hardware store comes with this black coating on it that's kind of goopy, and that is meant, I think, to protect it from rust. But it's not what I want for the look I'm going for, so I have to clean it all off, and the best way to get it off is using acetone. After I had cleaned up all the parts, I was able to assemble the base simply by screwing the pipes and fittings together, using a pair of vice grips to tighten them up where I needed. For a finish on the base, I used clear spray lacquer. I attached the base to the top with simple wood screws. For a finish, I'm going with a water-based polyacrylic. It's a good choice for several reasons. It provides a real nice protection. It doesn't change the color the way that polyurethane can. Polyurethane will make it just a little yellow. This does a little tiny bit, but very little. And another thing I like about it, it dries really fast. It actually dries in about 20 minutes, so you can put on a coat about every 20 minutes. I'm going to put several coats of this on, and that'll be the finish. And I do a light sanding in between each coat. After I've put on several coats of polyacrylic and let them dry overnight, I then cover it with paste wax. I wait a few minutes for the paste wax to dry, and then I buff it out. I just love the grain pattern on these pieces of ash. Well, there it is. It came out really well. I really like, as I said before, the wood and the metal together. I love the grain patterns that the ash made, and I think this will be well used. If you like this video, please like and share with your friends. If you have any questions about this or any other project I've done, or anything you've seen in my shop or anything on my channel, please feel free to leave a question or comment in the area below. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, thanks for watching.